Right now, some of the biggest tech companies in the world are literally actively throwing 4.0 Ivy League resumes straight into the trash,
Yeah, right into the recycling bin.
which is wild, but why? Well, because the universal passport to the professional world, the college GPA,
Yeah,
is it's officially broken.
completely broken.
And think about how you operate for a second. You're someone who is, always learning, always upskilling, always trying to stay ahead of the curve. But when you learn something new, how do you actually prove to the world that you know it?
Right, how do you validate that?
Exactly. Because for generations, the answer to that question was incredibly simple. You went to a prestigious institution, you sat in lecture halls for 4 years, and you walked out with a piece of paper and a grade point average.
And that was it.
Yeah, that was your guaranteed ticket to a career.
It was the ultimate standard covenant. Like the agreement between academia and industry was very straightforward.
Right.
It was basically, if you bring us a high GPA from a reputable university, we, the global workforce, will grant you a high leverage role with a great salary.
Really cute stuff.
Exactly. That single number was relied upon as a proxy for, well, capability, intelligence, and just overall readiness.
Today, we are doing a deep dive into an incredibly timely article titled Beyond the GPA, Why Proof of Competence is the New Metric for Academic Success.
This is a fascinating piece.
It really is. And our mission for this deep dive is to explore exactly why that traditional college transcript we all relied on is fundamentally failing and, to uncover the new hyper-specific currency of the global job market.
Yeah, it's a massive shift.
So, okay, let's unpack this because I was trying to figure out how to visualize the core problem with a traditional transcript, and I realized a GPA is essentially like a generic 5-star rating for a restaurant on an app.
Oh, I love that. That captures the information asymmetry perfectly.
Right. Because, when you see a restaurant with a 5-star rating, it tells you the establishment is generally compliant with health codes, the service is probably decent, and, the floors are clean.
Right, it's functional.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that generic rating gives you absolutely zero information about whether they serve sushi or tacos or pasta.
And in today's highly digitized, fast-moving economy, employers do not just want a generally good and compliant employee.
No, they don't have the time for that.
Exactly. They need someone who can cook the exact meal they are ordering that night.
Yes. So if that GPA is just a generic rating that hides what is actually on the menu, we really have to look at what employers are ordering today.
And they are ordering very specific things.
Right. And looking at the data from the tech and finance sectors, they are decoupling their hiring processes from institutional prestige. They are actively ignoring whether you got a broad grade in, say, computer science 2.
Because a broad grade like that actually creates hiring risk.
Really? Hiring risk?
Oh, absolutely. Let's look at what a 4.0 or a 9.0 GPA, depending on your regional scale, actually proves.
Yeah.
It proves discipline. It proves compliance within a highly structured, predictable academic environment.
Right. You played the game well.
Exactly. You showed up on time, you read the syllabus, you passed the standardized test.
Which is good, right.
It's good, yeah. But it does not, however, prove immediate job readiness in a modern enterprise.
I see.
Like when a company needs someone to engineer a machine learning pipeline, which is essentially setting up the complex digital plumbing so an AI can actually process massive amounts of data, a general computer science grade gives them insufficient visibility.
Because it's too broad.
Way too broad. They need granular data on verified micro skills.
Right. And the article highlights some very specific real-world examples that employers are actively hunting for, like Kubernetes deployment at scale.
Yes, that's a perfect example.
Which, for anyone not deep in cloud computing, is essentially the exact software architecture used to manage massive groups of cloud servers so that a company's website doesn't just, crash when 1 million people log on at once.
Right, yeah. Or something like data pipeline optimization. And you look at the data coming out of major players like IBM, Google, and Accenture right now.
Massive companies.
Massive industry-defining companies. They have explicitly stripped degree requirements from a significant percentage of their technical and operational roles.
That's huge.
It is. They are shifting away from speculative evaluations of a candidate's potential, and they're moving toward deterministic matching.
Okay, wait. Speculative versus deterministic.
Yeah, so speculative hiring is saying, This candidate went to a great school. They seem smart. I bet they'll figure out our cloud servers eventually.
Right, relying on that potential.
Exactly. Deterministic matching is saying, I need our server architecture optimized today. This candidate has verifiable proof they have already done this exact optimization perfectly. Hired.
Wow. But wait, I'm stuck on one thing, though. Doesn't a 4.0 at least prove you're a hard worker who can learn anything? Like,
Wait,
if I'm an employer, why wouldn't I want that raw potential? The person who has proven they can master whatever is put in front of them over 4 years.
it's a logical assumption, it really is, but here is the harsh reality of the modern enterprise. Hard work and potential do not solve a bleeding neck operational problem.
A bleeding neck problem.
Yeah, like if a company is losing thousands of dollars an hour because their server architecture is inefficient, they need a specific infrastructure optimized today.
Right, they can't wait.
Exactly. Broad potential doesn't mitigate that immediate risk. A hiring manager does not have 6 months of runway to let a brilliant, hardworking 4.0 student figure out the digital plumbing while the pipes are literally bursting.
That makes total sense. They need a plumber right now.
What's fascinating here is how this need to instantly mitigate operational risk is completely rewriting the rules for applicants.
And this changes the game entirely. Because if you are an applicant, the traditional path was to, stack your resume with impressive-sounding course titles, fire it off into the void of an online portal, and just hope you didn't get filtered out.
Yeah, the old spray and pray method.
Exactly. And even if you got hired, you were usually funneled into a generic, low-tier, entry-level role. But this shift to micro skills allows candidates to completely bypass those administrative bottlenecks.
By moving from simply claiming capability on a piece of paper to actually proving it with an industry-validated portfolio.
And we should probably clarify what an industry-validated portfolio actually looks like in practice.
Right. It is not just writing, I know Python on a PDF.
Yeah, anyone can type that.
Anyone. It is a verifiable artifact. It might be a GitHub repository where an automated system has already run stress tests against your code.
Oh, wow.
Or it might be a simulated sandbox environment where you solved a live commercial data problem and the platform verified your solution mathematically.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because I was thinking about this, and this verified micro-skill portfolio is basically a VIP fast pass at an amusement park.
Oh, I like that.
Right. Instead of standing in the massive general admission entry-level line holding your generic science honors degree, you walk right past the line directly onto the mid-tier ride.
Yes, that is exactly what's happening. And
Yeah.
it's like the difference between hiring a musician because they showed you a diploma from Juilliard
Yeah.
versus hiring them because they just sat down in front of you and flawlessly played the exact song you need for your concert.
The Juilliard diploma is claiming potential,
Right.
but the validated portfolio is the live audition. It proves utility immediately.
And when you pass that live audition, you do not start at the bottom. Presenting verified micro skills allows candidates to jump directly into high-leverage, mid-tier, execution-focused roles on a highly accelerated trajectory.
Bypassing years of climbing the ladder.
Exactly. And the financial return on proving your competence is incredible. Professionals presenting these discrete, verified skills are securing premium starting salaries and structured sign-on incentives.
Which brings up a completely different way to think about a paycheck.
Yeah.
Because salary negotiation is fundamentally an assessment of risk mitigation.
That is the core dynamic right there.
Yeah.
Think about it from the employer's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Hiring a traditional new graduate is terrifying.
Oh, totally. You have no idea what you're getting.
Exactly. Will they fit the culture? Do they actually know how to use our proprietary software stack? How many months of training will they need before they generate a single dollar of value for the company?
It's all unknown.
That onboarding period is pure cost and pure risk.
Right.
But if you walk in the door with a portfolio mathematically proving you already possess the exact micro skill they need to deploy that afternoon, their onboarding risk drops to near zero. You are significantly lowering their operational risk, and in exchange, you justify premium compensation. You are negotiating from a position of verified utility.
But this brings up a massive structural problem. I mean, a huge one.
Oh, yeah.
If I am a student paying $50,000 a year in tuition, and companies are happily ignoring my degree to look at an industry-validated micro-skill portfolio instead, the traditional university is suddenly selling a product nobody is buying.
Universities are facing a profound existential crisis right now.
They have to be.
They are under intense scrutiny from students, from parents, and from policymakers who are looking at the return on investment and realizing, The math no longer works.
It just doesn't add up anymore.
For decades, universities have measured their own institutional health by relying on lagging indicators, things like graduation rates or annual enrollment figures.
Which doesn't tell you about the future.
No, looking at how many people successfully graduated last year tells you absolutely nothing about how prepared those individuals are for the global economy of next year. It is a rearview mirror metric.
So, modern academic institutions are being forced to shift to a new leading metric, which the article refers to as skill velocity.
Yes, skill velocity.
And as the source defines it, that is the rate at which a student acquires, validates, and deploys contemporary market-relevant skills relative to shifting macroeconomic demands.
Skill velocity is entirely about speed and relevance.
Speed.
And this highlights a terrifying structural vulnerability for higher education.
How so?
Well, if a traditional university curriculum takes 3 years to adapt to a major industry shift, say, the sudden dominance of a new financial modeling software or a leap in artificial intelligence, its graduates are structurally obsolete the exact moment they are handed their diplomas.
Structurally obsolete upon graduation. That is brutal. But realistically, how can a giant traditional university overhaul a 4-year degree structure overnight just to chase every new software update or market trend?
They can't.
Right, because we're talking about massive bureaucracies with tenured faculty, accreditation boards, and like centuries of tradition. They simply cannot rewrite everything that fast.
It takes years of committee meetings just to change a course title.
Exactly.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, that logistical impossibility is exactly why the entire back-end infrastructure of higher education is currently being overhauled.
Okay, so what's the solution?
Universities cannot change their foundational theory courses every 6 months, nor should they. They need a structural bridge between academic instruction and the rapidly shifting realities of global employment.
A bridge.
Yes, and that bridge is a new type of enterprise-grade technology.
And this is where the article details a platform called SkillDrift University Edition.
Yes, SkillDrift.
But looking at how it integrates into a legacy university, it is a complete paradigm shift. It solves that exact bottleneck of the slow-moving curriculum by introducing what they call asynchronous, inbuilt micro-learnings.
Right. Asynchronous meaning self-serve and self-paced. The university maintains its rigorous foundational theory. But running parallel to that core curriculum, students are empowered to independently engage with highly targeted, industry-specific micro-learning modules on their own time.
So it happens alongside the normal classes.
Exactly. It removes the friction between a slow-moving administration and a student who desperately needs an up-to-the-minute skill.
Let's picture a day in the life of a student using this system, just to really ground this.
Sure.
Imagine a student sitting in a 300-person lecture hall, learning the theoretical foundations of data structures. That is the necessary academic theory.
Right.
But then they go back to their dorm room, they log into the SkillDrift platform, and they get a real-time alert that Google is currently hiring interns, but requires a specific, brand-new cloud security protocol.
And under the old system, that student is entirely out of luck until the university offers a course on that protocol, 2 years later.
Right, they just missed the boat entirely.
But under this new architecture, the student clicks on the alert, takes a 4-hour targeted module right there in their dorm, passes an automated sandbox test where they actually have to configure the security protocol in a simulated environment, and earns a verified badge.
Just like that.
They have instantly bridged the gap between academic theory and immediate market demand.
And the platform doesn't just benefit the student in their dorm. It completely changes how university leadership operates through what are called dynamic B2B employability dashboards.
Yes, this acts as a real-time translation layer.
A translation layer.
Yeah. Through a centralized dashboard, university chancellors and department heads get unprecedented visibility into the actual job readiness of their current cohorts.
That's incredible.
It translates the students' engagement with these micro-learnings into a standardized matrix of actionable capabilities.
So instead of a chancellor waiting 4 years to look at a graduation rate, that lagging indicator we talked about, they can open a dashboard today and see a live heat map of exactly what skills their current sophomores possess versus what the labor market is actively demanding.
Exactly. They can identify precise skill gaps within their student body long before the graduation cycle concludes.
They aren't just flying blind anymore.
No, they aren't guessing if their students are employable. They have predictive institutional insights based on live aggregate data.
And driving all of this is the engine itself. The aggregated market matching and targeted upskilling engine,
The engine is the really brilliant part.
because it aggregates global job and internship opportunities from across the entire digital ecosystem into a single interface for the student. It centralizes real-world demand.
Right, instead of a student relying on whichever 5 local companies happen to set up folding tables at the campus career fair.
Which is always so limiting.
It is. But now they have a holistic view of the active global labor market. And the true magic of this engine is the automated gap analysis.
So what does this all mean? If you put all these architectural pieces together, SkillDrift operates exactly like a highly advanced career GPS system.
Ooh, a career GPS.
Yeah, think about it. When you get in your car, your GPS looks at your exact destination, in this case, the highly specific job you want.
Right.
Then, it assesses your current location, your existing skills, and completed coursework. It automatically diagnoses the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And finally, it maps the precise step-by-step route to get you there without any guesswork.
That mapped route is the targeted remediation.
Remediation, exactly.
Once the system identifies the gap between the student's profile and the live market demand, it points the student directly to the specific inbuilt microlearnings required to plug that exact deficit.
It's so efficient.
It is immediate, highly specific feedback. You want job X, you are currently missing microskill Y, so click here to take module Z right now.
And as the student systematically completes these modules and upskills in those simulated sandbox environments, their objective job matching metrics improve.
Which creates what is known as frictionless signaling to employers.
Frictionless signaling.
Yeah, when a candidate applies through this pipeline, the employer receives a clear, high-fidelity signal mathematically proving this individual possesses the exact micro-skills required for the role.
The profound terror of hiring is completely removed.
Completely. You are drastically reducing the friction between expanding enterprises that need specific tasks done today and qualified student talent eager to do them.
It aligns everyone's incentives perfectly. The student bypasses the entry-level trap, the employer mitigates their onboarding risk, and the university proves its value in real time.
We are living in an era where information itself is no longer a scarce commodity.
It's everywhere.
Knowledge has been entirely democratized. You can learn the theory of almost anything for free on the internet.
Absolutely.
Therefore, the true value of modern education is no longer about gatekeeping content behind ivy-covered walls. The value is in the rigorous, targeted development of verifiable capability.
Proving what you can do.
Academia and enterprise must finally speak the same language, and that language is verified microskills.
If universities continue to benchmark their success against historical GPA metrics, they risk total institutional misalignment with a global economy.
They'll just be left behind.
They really will. They have to embrace this framework of asynchronous skill building and dynamic market matching to ensure their graduates possess the skill velocity required to actually lead the modern workforce.
Which brings the focus right back to you, the listener.
Yes, let's talk about you.
As you navigate this shifting landscape, it requires taking a hard, objective look at your own professional toolkit.
It requires auditing your own skill velocity. We want you to look at your resume right now and ask yourself a very uncomfortable question. Am I just claiming my capabilities, or am I actually proving them?
That is the big question.
Are you offering a generic 5-star rating, or are you handing the employer the exact menu they are hungry for?
This raises an important question. If enterprise infrastructure can now perfectly map, assess, and prove our microskills asynchronously in the cloud, completely independent of a lecture hall, will the physical university campus of the future eventually become a little more than a massively expensive social club, completely decoupled from the actual business of getting a job?
No. That is a staggering thought to end on. Definitely something to chew on the next time you hear someone bragging about their college GPA.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep learning, keep adapting, and most importantly, keep proving your competence to the world. We will catch you on the next one.